So what can we do in our workspace here? Well, very important. If you click onto new right here, you can add new content to your workspace. You can upload a new file, for example. You can create a data set, create dashboards or reports or paginated reports, so reports with multiple pages. If you would click data set right here, for example, you would be back to get data. So it's the same menu that we saw already. Back in my workspace here in the new, you can say if you want to create a new report, right? Then you would have to select a data set first, so the only data set we have at the moment. And if I would then press create, then you're back here in the report view. So you could now again create your visuals. And with that, you would then create another report here in the report area. So we have some redundancies here in the end, but it's just important for me that you understand how this workspace, this My Workspace logic works. The workspace contains all the data sets, reports, and dashboards that you manage in Power BI Pro. However, I mentioned that you have some options here in this workspace. And an interesting one, a pretty new one actually, is this view option over here. The default one is the list view, but you also have this lineage option. You see that this shows us the structure of our project in the end. You see in the middle here, we have our data set. Here we have our initial data sources, so the population files and the codes country region text file we used. Based on that, we created our data set. Based on this data set, we created our Power BI Pro starting project and the corresponding dashboard. And we also created our Pro report and the Pro dashboard based on the data set. This is a really great addition to Power BI Pro, I think, as it quickly allows you to show such structures here. And if you select one of these boxes, for example, a dashboard box, you see the contact basically, and you can open a dashboard. If you go to the report, you have the same thing. And here for the dataset, it becomes a bit more interesting because if you select that, you see when it was refreshed and when the next refresh takes place. So refreshing, we saw that already, right? So we wanted to refresh our data. You also see the underlying data in our table. So we have the dim age table with the underlying fields, dim region, and so on. So this is really great to further explore your data. And the same thing can be done with our source files here. And very important, we see three things actually. We see the full path, so where the source file is located. This means Power BI Pro directly accesses these source files, right? So keep this in mind. We have an unable to connect connection status, not good, so we have to explore this. And we have some kind of gateway here. We saw gateways already, so this will become important, obviously, to keep our data up to date. However, let's change back to the list view, because here we have some more options that I would like to show you. Because if you hover over these items, you see you can share the data. As I said, will be covered later. You can mark specific parts as a favorite, or if you click on these three dots here, you again have some options like analyze in Excel. You can delete the report, save a copy. And one thing I would like to show you here though is this quick insights option here, because if you click that, then Power BI Pro will analyze your data and create some, visuals on its own. So it might not be the most helpful one, so we see, because it depends on a data set how good the visuals are. But if you then go to View Insights here, you see that Power BI Desktop created these visuals completely alone, so we didn't do a thing. And we see the total population is trending upwards. Okay, no surprise we didn't see that. Asia has more male people. Okay, also interesting, and so on. So you can see different visuals here with some insights. As I said, it depends a lot on the data you're using, but it's great to see that Power BI Pro is really powerful here and even analyzes data on its own and creates visuals based on it. However, we don't need these insights here, so let's go to our workspace again here. Here we are back, because now I would like to dive deeper into something we saw a few minutes ago. This whole refreshing thing, because if you think back about the workspace, and if I go down here to the data set, then you had this refresh option over here. You saw the same option if you go to the report, go to the edit view, and then you had the refresh right there, and so on. So refreshing data is quite important, obviously. And if you hover over here, you see for the data set right here, you have the same option. Let's click refresh now and let's see what's going to happen. And we see nothing is happening because the refresh is not working due to gateway configuration issues. So we have two problems here actually. First, we have a configuration issue, and second, we have an issue with something we didn't know so far, a gateway. So let's explore what a gateway is now and why we needed to refresh data. Then we'll install the gateway together, and then we'll make sure that this error is gone and that the refresh works successfully.